All right, welcome back to another NovNov technical project video. We have kind of left off or picked up. We have picked up where we left off. Basically, on the right-hand side here, you'll see that I have my Docker container running Docker whiteboard stuff. Built that again. You'll notice that I am actually on NovNov 3.2 because I did break the other one yesterday after the last video. So we are here inside of our container. I got it up and running. The fix from yesterday is the live. If I browse to just the IP, it redirects me from the index.html, as we can see right here, to the index.php. So that HT access is still working, but I did promise that we would poke at it. So we're going to lightly poke today. Remember that in the real world, you should never poke things that you don't have authorization to poke. That does include virtual machines running in the cloud. So do not use any explicitly dangerous tools, I guess you could say. Very quickly, got to just make sure that I can ping the internet, make sure my virtual machine has that internet connection. And it looks like it does this time, so I'm going to go ahead and clear that out. And then we are going to grab the IP address directly, try and ping the droplet, by IP, and so we are able to connect, which is good. If I were to do a simple nmap scan against that, if you are looking for a definitive list of tools that you can or cannot use against your own infrastructure inside of DigitalOcean or AWS or Azure, there is not a definitive clear-cut list. That means you have to dive into the docs, read through some support, see what other people have encountered and run into, and be cautious more than anything, because some services don't like it when you poke at them, and other services are illegal to poke at, but we won't get into that today. So I've got my nmap scan running. While that is running, just as a review, that Docker compose that we did to wrap up yesterday is running that as detached, so I'm still here on my excuse me, container. And if I do Docker PS, I can get the container ID, image names, all of that right through here. So I'm the image of Docker whiteboard, names is whiteboard app, and it's accessible over 80. So I should see some decent responses on nmap. Giving up on port because retransmission cap hit. Okay, so not getting a ton. It's a little too busy. Let's go ahead and do a quick scan instead. I'll give it the last 46 seconds. It's almost done. I'm not that impatient. Do you guys remember earlier videos where I broke things like Docker because I was too impatient to just let it run for a little bit? Okay, but that's more. I'm going to cancel it. Okay, so this time I'm just going to do an nmap, but then I'm going to add -t5 for time 5, and let's go ahead and run this as sudo, get those root privileges, and I'm going to fast forward this part. I didn't even need to fast forward that part before I even started to stop thinking about it. I've got SSH open, which we know we got that open because we're currently on it. Also got 80 open over HTTP, and I know we got 80 open because we are currently on it. And this is where some other tools might come in handy if I were to do something like dirb or directory buster. Dirb buster. Just use the default list against that. What this tool does is it goes through a word list, in this case 4,612 using the common.txt word list, and it is going to scan the URL and fill in anything after that. So we'll see if we got any known or common directory names or file names. All right, so that is the dirb. Took a second there, so I'm going to speed that up in the middle so you guys don't have to just look at me disassociating into the screen. And this is going to be a great indicator of why you should not rely on just common word lists when doing work like this. It didn't find everything. We know there is register.php on this. We went to it the other day. If we go there again, this is where we registered our user like Chester Malort so that we could then log in as that user, right? So we know it's there. But dirb wasn't able to find it. All dirb found was index.html, index.php, and server status. So it says a 403 for server status. Let's go ahead and curl that really quick so I can show you guys what that looks like, because that is the one thing that you might not have been expecting to see on here. And all it says is you don't have permission to access this resource, right? It's an Apache server at port 80, and that is all that is saying right there, right? We don't have access to look at the server status using just a directory buster. I can do the same thing for the HTTP 209.38.44.253 slash, let's look at index.html. Right, it's talking about it has been moved here, right? So that is our redirect that we have going on. And the only thing that it found that we didn't necessarily talk about is this directory called data. So I'm going to control click on that. So right click and open link, and that should open up my Firefox. It should open up. I don't want to use Chrome as my default browser, but I'll let it do it this time. Hey, welcome to Chrome. We want to have all your data and hate you forever because we're the Alphabet Company and we're illegal. And this is a common misconfiguration when you're using SQLIte and things like this. We just have this DB.SQLIte right here that I can keep it, and then I can look at it. And so we see inside of our SQLite, I've got a table with messages that has who the user, or the message ID, the user ID, the content of the message, and when it was created. I've got the SQLite sequence, but then I've also got this users table. It's not great, right? So this database is here, right? And we can see it. So what if we just go with that same structure, select asterisk from users, and we'll see Chester Malort, a hash of a password, and the role of user. That's interesting. Do we have more than just user we could be working with? Are there more types of users, like maybe an administrator? I don't know. Well, I do, but that's for you guys to find out. So the database is there and accessible on that.